Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovok called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds.
What's the matter, Nilly? Afraid of a little hard work?
A little hard work? Really? A little? 6 months of putting this ship back together is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and here we are. Just about ready to go.
Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovok.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Ed Solar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovok. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovok said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it.
You gotta have some faith, Nilly. Starfleet Command wouldn't send us out if we weren't ready.
6 months ago, I probably would have said the same thing. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Excuse me.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
We've been through a whole hell of a lot as a crew. They're gonna have to prove themselves before they're really one of us.
Yeah, you're right. Anyone could look serious in a clean uniform. Show me what you can do when everything's falling apart. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely.
Don't talk badly about one of the best ships in all of Starfleet.
We've rebuilt enough of her by now. She better be one of the best.
We'll see about that. But I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa!
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls. That view never gets old.
Let's go.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Just a sip of something. Coffee. Perfect temperature. Don't know how they do it.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare.
You can spare me the pomp and circumstance. There's plenty of work to be done without all that.
You always had a work ethic like nothing I'd ever seen. That's just what this ship needs at the moment. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I heard that you had an equipment malfunction.
Is that what they're calling it? No, that's just someone being generous. If anything, it was a leadership malfunction. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career? Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship could handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
You have to look to the future. You can't dwell on the past, on things you can't change.
There's nothing that can be done about it now. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
This is your ship, and you are the captain. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever you say, goes.
That's the kind of support I'm looking for. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater.
Who is the senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great, let's get to that emitter. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
Well, I'm so glad you said that. Now I know exactly who to turn to when I have questions.
Questions are more Commander Ermont's territory. Captain Solano primarily relies on my knowledge and expertise when he needs answers. Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound. On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the...
Red alert!
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Petrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields!
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
And to blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us when you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser. We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovak can... just lost a docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
All right, Starbase, we're on it.
Acknowledged.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
We're going to blow the bolts. Starbase, stand by. We'll warn our crew to take cover.
Get it done, Rydek.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, you have more micro debris incoming. Find cover.
Cover? Nilly, get under the access panel. It's armored with duranium.
But what about you? Carter, maybe we can both fit behind this. Docking clamp, hurry!
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Look out!
I got you. Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Etzelar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Go in there now. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that. We made it.
They're safe. Bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Let's get this off. Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good. You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar. That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me? Helm. Do it.
Nicely done.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Hotari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
we are the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer.
We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it. Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge. craft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock? The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
It was not the smoothest transit, but you got us here safely. That is what matters. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? All indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Onboard diagnostics can be wrong. I can take a closer look at your shuttle systems to get to the bottom of it.
I would appreciate that.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz, sir.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock,
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind. Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
We're all curious about the future, Ambassador. Specifically, what exactly are we getting involved in here?
We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Alydia and Hotari. The Alydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Alydians have shared a mining operation there. The Alydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Alydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Alydian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing.
If we could convince them, it would restore the peace. But we would need the Hotari to accept a difficult compromise.
Made all the more difficult by the emotions flaring on both sides, no doubt.
Neither the Alydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Alydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Alydium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Alydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you've come. My name is Tyler Saltaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydek, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind, and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Alydians.
It's very nice to meet you.
Likewise. I hope...
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation. The reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But, either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Sidron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Alydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not part
She
of...
can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her. Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Alydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Alydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
If the opportunity presented itself, and I wish that it had, more than you can know, then I would right the wrong, without hesitation. For the sake of the Kobliad, we suffered enough.
Of course you would. It would be foolish to do otherwise. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we had an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
As Ambassador Spock has said, we've come seeking a peaceful resolution to this conflict, and have no interest in your dilithium.
I'm not nearly as naive as you must think. The Federation has done business with the Alydians for decades, which makes me question your motives.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Alydian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Alydians? It can only be one or the other, not both.
If there can only be one, then it would be in the best interest of all involved if the Alydians resumed operation of the mines.
And that is why we should not trust our fate to the Federation.
She speaks sense. You do well to listen to her.
And you do well to hold your tongue.
We will take back our minds by any means necessary.
And you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I would agree, Ambassador Spock. I think this is best left to those of us with more experience in diplomatic matters.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Thank you. I will let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Alydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Alydians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Alydians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She doesn't like the way Galvin and Sidron have been manipulating the situation. And the Queen. Working with us to go around them isn't the same as betraying her people.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us?
Given their indifference to the negotiations, and what we now know about this warp-disrupting weapon, it's almost as if they want to start a war. And Sidron was convinced the only thing the Alydians respect is force.
I would say he's right about that. But at least they know when to hold back.
But that does not explain why they would turn their aggressions against us.
I don't think the Alydians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintas said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harnessed the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Alydians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hotari. The Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan. See, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
It was hard to tell.
Tylus wouldn't have offered to help if she didn't know what she was doing.
That's a lot of faith in someone we barely know. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Alydians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We were, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
If this warp disruption attack isn't enough justification, I don't know what is. We have every right to defend ourselves.
In due time.
I don't want to escalate this without a better idea of what we're getting into.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari. Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
This?
It's where the uprising started. Hotari don't do this. We defend ourselves, but we don't kill on the scale of this
level of savagery.
There's no such thing as a bloodless rebellion.
I don't know if we should keep going. So much death. I don't want to end up like them.
We'll make sure they didn't die for nothing. What we learn here could save the rest of your people.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever happened here, it made the Alydians abandon the mines. Let's find out what they're so scared of. Think they parked this here on purpose?
One way to find out.
Need any help?
I've got it.
This concentration of tetrametric radiation has never been recorded. Whatever they're hiding, it's right through here.
This feels strange.
The crystals are increasing, growing outward, replacing the soil.
It's like an infection.
Incredible.
This is definitely not Hotari.
It's the remnants of the Takan Empire.
I don't think we should be here.
This is exactly where we should be. Every strange thing we've seen in this system, it might all come from this room. We need to learn everything we can.
What are we looking at?
It's made of the same crystalline material as the rest of this place. But I can't tell much else. Might be some kind of sleep mode. I can't analyze this further unless it starts working normally.
Maybe we can turn it on from somewhere else.
Hopefully.
What is it?
The device's primary function is to transmute lithium into this quantized crystalline compound. Possibly for the creation of weapons.
Do you think one of these was used on that Alydian in the tunnels?
Such a cruel weapon. This suggests there's some type of complex life form contained within each crystal.
Life form? There's something alive in these tiny crystals?
That's what it says, but hard to imagine how that's possible. Our science division will have a field day with this. We need to study it on the ship. This can't be right. It's putting out almost 50 zettajoules of energy.
I assume that's a lot?
Enough to power this entire quadrant. This amount of power, the kind of radiation it's putting out, it's the cause of the storm. The warp disrupting beam, all of it.
What do we do now?
We get back to the Resolute. They have to know about this. Come on, let's... Quickly. We have to hide.
This is outrageous! I demand you let me go!
No need to complain. You're about to receive a gift. beyond your wildest imagination. If anything, I consider it an honor.
What is that? What are you doing?
You'll see soon enough.
I can influence the course of the negotiation. I can make sure the Hotari get the better end of the bargain.
So can I.
If there was a chance between you two, I think you've blown it out the airlock. Hope you're happy. Miranda doesn't deserve this. We're supposed to be her friends.
She's in here because of what she did. She lost track of the crystals, she was up to something in the computer core, and she attacked me.
I'm not arguing that.
We were at the start of something good, and you throw it away like that. I never thought you'd turn on me like this.
Miranda, I'm sorry it came to this. I really am.
That's one of those apologies that doesn't really mean anything.
It's hard to be all in when I don't know what's going on with you.
You think I owe you an explanation? Starfleet and its never-ending search for answers.
Tried to find the other members of the security team that went to Hotari, but they're missing. We found their comm badges stashed in a Jeffries tube.
You better hurry up and find them. There's not much time left.
Miranda, if you know where they are, you have to tell us. We're all Starfleet here. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Not anymore. I have a new purpose now.
Here's something.
What is it?
Maris didn't get bioscanned after returning from Hotari. Neither did the other two that are missing.
None of them were scanned.
Which should not have happened.
She came over and helped us open the engine compartment. The others too. They must have used it as a way to skirt the scan.
So they knew they had to get around it. I'll scan Petty Officer Maris and get some data to cut through all this speculation.
I think it's better if I do it.
Did you know?
Know what?
That's not Petty Officer Miranda Maris.
What are you talking about?
It's right here on the tricorder.
But look at her.
Hold on. Then who is it?
From what I'm reading, she might look like Miranda. Walk and talk like her too. But she has different brainwaves, and even different DNA. Somehow, this isn't the same person we left Starbase with. I'm going to feed this into the main computer and run some more analysis.
Commander, there's gotta be something we can do for her.
This is incredible. By some process we don't yet understand, Miranda's body is being rewritten. Her mind has been remapped to another personality, and her DNA is resequencing. I'm not sure the extent of it, but it appears to be pervasive. Someone has taken over and is bioforming her.
That's a crude way to describe it.
Bioforming.
This is a problem. A big one.
Who are you?
I'm Miranda, but so much more.
Don't let them get the storage drive!
Emo enoris texta.
It's not in the universal translator.
Who the hell are you?
We are the Scions of the Flame.
Stop her!
They're getting away!
Shoot her!
Scions of the Flame? I don't like the sound of that.
You're never gonna believe this. The reason the Universal Translator didn't recognize that language is because it's only ever been read. It's the Takan language.
Get your filthy Hotari hands off me! We'll burn your planet to the ground! Animals! Wait, no!
Rise, brother. Rejoin the flame.
This can only mean our time has come.
I'm only sorry I couldn't find a more suitable host for you.
All in good time. This is only the beginning.
They're working together? An Alydian and a Hotari?
They did something to him.
Secure the Cartabula.
Cartabula?
It's the energy source.
Spread out. Search the vault. Go back through the mine. Cut off their escape. Find them.
Time to go.
Here we go! The lift! We're trapped.
Resolute, 2 to beam up immediately. Resolute, come in.
Jara!
Are you all right?
I think so. It hurts. What are you doing?
Hold on to me.
Commander, we read you, but there's too much interference. Transporters still can't get a lock.
Yes!
Get her to sickbay.
Captain Solano and Ambassador Spock have just returned from Hotari.
Take a look at that.
Rydek, I need you on the bridge, now.
I'm here.
The Alydians are preparing to attack Hotari.
Status report.
Systems are now fully powered. All torpedo tubes open.
They're preparing to fire! We should hail the Alydian flagship, Captain.
Readying phasers if you want them.
Stand by. Await my order. Recommendation, Commander? We need to act quickly.
Maneuver the Resolute underneath their warships. Block their shots at the planet's surface.
Clever. Shields at maximum, Mr. Emma. You heard the Commander.
Aye, Captain.
Now think twice about firing on a Federation ship.
The Alydians. They've powered down their weapons.
Odd. You sure about that, Mr. Amat?
They're venting some kind of gas from their ship. Hold on. Now all of their systems have shut down.
That's unexpected.
Maintain our position. No telling what they're up to.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
There's an energy dampening field coming from the Tau Moon.
Take us out of range.
Aye, Captain.
Captain, the flagship is hailing us.
On screen.
Zeldy to the Starship Resolute. Our main power cores are completely disabled. The more power we give, the more it takes. Running off batteries. Life support systems have failed. Unable to ventilate. Contaminated atmosphere.
Admiral, you are about to launch an attack on a defenseless planet.
Kobliot, you supported us in the negotiations. We need your help again now. Please, I beg of you. You must render assistance. System failures are compounding around my ship.
We'll help you.
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Admiral, excuse us while we devise a rescue plan.
By my estimate, the crew only have 23 minutes before their atmospheric mix becomes lethal.
While we may not be able to transport the Alydians directly, if we were to transport them from their ship to a nearby shuttlecraft, it should be possible to amplify the transporter signal there and reroute it to the Resolute.
The Ambassador's plan is incomplete. An away team will have to beam aboard the Zeldy and set up pattern enhancers for a stable enough signal out of the dampening field.
Thank you for identifying my deficiency, Commander Chovak.
Jara, I need a senior officer in command of this. Take Chovak and Bedrosian in the shuttle, and get it done.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edselar, you will be part of the rescue mission. As will I. We will bring the shuttle within transporter range of the Zeldy, then beam you both aboard.
Beam us on board. Why?
The pattern enhancers must be placed on the Zeldy to make it possible to beam the Alydians back to the Resolute. Gather the pattern enhancers, and get to the docking bay. Within range, any closer will put the shuttlecraft at risk. Preparing to transport the away team. Energizing.
The ship's life support. It's almost completely drained.
And the other systems, too.
Oh no.
We gotta get to their transporter room. It's not working.
No power's running through any of this. We gotta get him open manually.
I am the ranking officer here. State your intentions. We are under siege. Explain yourselves.
What does it look like? We're here to rescue you.
And yet, you cannot even open a door.
Yeah. Whoa there.
I am still able to stand. What are you trying to do?
We gotta get into your transporter room.
Then we can get your people off the ship.
Redirecting and transmitting to the Resolute now.
This is Resolute. We have the Alydians safely aboard.
We did it! I was so worried this wouldn't work. We got this.
Good work. Keep it up.
Yes, Commander.
This is Commander Rydek. We're holding steady. Signal is good. Keep them coming.
Admiral, you're next.
I've made it clear. I only leave after those in my charge.
Sir, I must insist you go so you can lead our people. I will see to any stragglers.
Yes, that may be for the best. But first, let me thank our human saviors. I'll pin medals on your uniforms when this is over. For all your brave work.
We're not out of the woods yet, sir. So if you don't mind...
Ah, yes. Forgive me.
We're ready for transport.
Get the Admiral to safety.
Energize.
Massive power surge!
Sending available power to the annular confinement beam. I have the Alydians in the pattern buffer, but I cannot resolve their signal to send them through to the Resolute. Nor can I materialize them here.
We need a better position with the Resolute. Have to keep away from the lightning.
We're almost there.
I am losing their patterns. I need more power, but internal relays are not functioning.
I'll do it manually. Do it!
I am trying. I will lose the transport if I do not have more time. The signal is resolving.
Please!
Finish the transport!
I have them. Transport complete. She is injured. Lieutenant Bedrosian has been injured, but the last transport was successful.
Oh, thanks, B.
Unfortunately, our shuttle systems were damaged by the power surge. We can no longer serve as a transporter node.
Carter, these readings are off the charts. The source of the storm is on this ship. That must have been the power surge. When it came on board.
You're right. The Takan energy source. They call it the Cartabula. It's here.
Is that?
The intruders are preparing to bring the Zeldi to war.
And we're about to be stuck on it.
There is an old Alydian saying about leaping off the hot skillet and falling to the flame below.
Yeah, we got that one too.
We don't know where this ship is going, but we're not lost. We can still do something. We can still fight. But we'll stop them from getting the Cartabula wherever they're taking it.
I like this plan, and I shall fight with you.
That's all well and good, but if we're not getting off this ship, we're really backed into a corner here.
We can't get off this ship.
But maybe I could target somewhere on the ship.
We are reading the warp engines powering up.
Yeah, we picked up on that.
We do not have a way to evacuate you from the Zeldi. The shuttlecraft is too heavily damaged.
That's all right, Commander. We have a plan of our own. We're gonna stay on this ship.
That is very bold of you, Mr. Diaz. Live long and prosper.
I hear voices down the corridor.
They will be here soon.
I'll guard the door. You just get us out of here, Diaz.
Hey, Stretch. Help us with this map. Find somewhere as remote as you can.
They're almost here.
The aft cargo bay.
That is acceptable.
Sounds good to me.
Whatever you're doing, do it now!
We're locked in. Order transport.
Come on, Bell!
Bell!
It's too late for him. Carter!
3 to transport. Energize.
Zeldi does not appear to have left any warp signature at all. I cannot track its trajectory. Our duty often calls for sacrifice. She knows it, and our people on the Zeldi know it.
Contact the Resolute, Mr. Chovak. Have them bring us back. And tell them we'll need medical waiting for Lieutenant Bedrosian.
Yes, Commander.
You may approach.
Your Majesty, an apology is in order. The Federation...
Spare us your apologies, your excuses, your pathetic explanations. You said you were here under the pretense of peace, yet you trespassed into our minds. I should have known you were lying when you said the Hotari should have control of the mines. Just a ruse to conceal your true intentions.
We knew you were hiding something. We had to find the truth.
I hope you were satisfied with what you found.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Her actions nearly caused a war.
I was addressing the Queen.
Galvin speaks for the Hotari now.
Fortunately, we were able to resolve this ourselves despite your interference. The Alydians have agreed the mines will remain under Hotari control.
We now recognize the Hotari as the sole authority in this region. Your presence here is no longer necessary.
So you can consider the matter resolved.
They never wanted the Federation involved. This was all just a ploy from the start.
We never needed the Federation involved. But we're so thankful that you've come.
That being said, the sooner you leave, the better.
The hell we will.
What about my crew trapped aboard that ship? Or what you did to my security team? The data you stole? I want to make one thing clear. No one is to leave Hotari space without Federation approval. No one.
You think you have that power, when in fact you have none. You came here under the presumption you would be the ultimate authority. That you would show up and render judgment in this petty dispute over precious resources between lesser people. But instead, your arrogance and self-interest was your undoing. Blinding you to the real power at work here. Something far beyond your feeble imagination.
Enough of this nonsense. You're not fooling anyone. We know you're Takan.
Takan. A word I haven't heard in a very long time. At the height of our power, the Takan Empire spanned hundreds of thousands of light years, and trillions of Takonians.
An empire that encompassed what is now considered Federation territory.
What's yours was what's ours. So it feels only right that we reclaim what was lost. Everything you hold dear will be gone. The first of many painful losses to come.
That may play well with your bioformed friends. But your empty threats don't scare us.
Just a friendly word of caution. You'll know when I'm threatening you. You might be surprised how many want to be part of the most advanced civilization the galaxy has ever seen. We will not stop until we've reclaimed what is rightfully ours. Imagine what a queen, a starship captain, or even a Federation ambassador could accomplish if their power was wielded by a truly superior entity. In the face of such impossible odds against an adversary so clearly more advanced in every way, the only logical choice is to submit.
Never.
Seize them.
Get us out of here, now!
Rydek to Resolute. Beam us out.
Commander.
Good to have you back. You didn't opt for the ocular implants.
Maybe someday. The visor was the best the doc could do on short notice.
We've got an Alydian ship, the Veskar, rapidly bearing down on our position.
Or what was the Veskar? Now I'm not so sure.
Bring it up on the view screen.
600 kilometers in closing. Still coming straight for us. Commander?
Do we engage first, assuming their intentions are hostile?
Not yet, but we will if we have to.
400 kilometers in closing.
Shields up. Ready phasers.
Shields up. Phasers ready. It's incoming.
Lock phasers and open fire.
Heavy damage. But deflectors still at full power?
That bypassed our shields entirely.
That's impossible. God damn it, return fire. Everything we've got. Rydek, modulate the shield frequencies. See if you can get us any cover.
Commander,
I've got this. Just keep firing.
Shields still have no effect.
That doesn't make sense.
I'll try another. There!
We've got incoming! How do they keep matching our shield frequency?
They couldn't. Unless... They've compromised our shield algorithms. They can bypass our shields at will.
What?
Ah!
Captain!
He's out cold.
Why'd they stop?
Damage report.
Running on emergency power. Major hull damage on decks 4 through 7. Warp core is stable and intact.
We're completely vulnerable.
Commander, we're being held by the Veskar. It's Galvan.
On screen.
Commander Rydek, where's your captain? Not yet, I hope. At least, not yet.
You're dealing with me. Is that a problem?
One inferior life form is as good as another. I have to give you credit, Commander. You survived longer than I thought you would. But make no mistake, your shields are useless, your weapons ineffective, and there's nothing you can do. I could destroy you at any moment. But I'd rather hear your pleas for mercy first. Your existence is entirely in my hands, and I'm not in a forgiving mood.
If you want to destroy us, then I invite you to do your worst. We'd rather die with honor than beg for your mercy.
You may just get your wish. I've been thinking about what you said, Commander. I don't think you'll find my threats so empty now.
The Veskar's weapons are powering up.
But I don't have to needlessly slaughter you. So I've decided to let you live, despite your insolence. Tell your Federation that Takan are as merciful as they are powerful, that you were fortunate to escape with your lives.
We appreciate your mercy.
And you rely on it.
I've lost their signal.
Can you track their warp signature?
Nothing. It's untraceable, just like before.
Notify Ambassador Spock. I want everyone in the briefing room to discuss our options.
What's the status of the repairs?
Hull breach should be patched up in a matter of hours. Impulse power is at 67%. Should be fully restored soon.
Still no luck tracking Galvin's warp signature. They've all but disappeared.
Keep trying. Finding that son of a bitch is the best shot we've got.
Commander Rydek, you had the con after the ship was attacked. What is your assessment? Given our current situation, and the losses we have suffered.
I'd rather not fight this alone. We need to call for reinforcements.
In that case, we might have an option. Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire. If anyone could find Galvin, it would be him.
That's assuming he's willing to help us.
True, but there's only one way to find out.
Wouldn't we need to secure authorization from the Federation Council to contact him?
The nearest Federation outpost is Andoria. I can travel there by shuttle and inform them personally of the threat from the Takan. Meanwhile, the Resolute can travel to the Delphi Ardu system in search of Portal 6-3.
I still have my doubts.
I do not. Captain William T. Riker has first-hand experience with the area, and with Portal 6-3. His guidance will prove invaluable, and should alleviate your concerns.
Delphi Ardu 4 is a restricted zone for good reason. For all we know, we could be walking into a trap. Not to mention the high likelihood Portal 6-3's allegiance will be with the Takan. It's just too much of a risk. A waste of time. Time we can't afford to lose.
Right now, we have no way of knowing where those two Alydian ships are, or where they're going. Another Takonian might be able to at least point us in the right direction.
Or we're the ones pointing him right toward his fellow Takan, making the problem worse.
I am inclined to agree with Commander Rydek. Her logic is sound. This portal may have knowledge that proves to be invaluable, including information on the nature of the Cartabula. We must act on the facts at hand.
Then we'll give it our best.
I'll arrange a meeting with Captain Riker.
And I will speak with the Council. They need to understand the magnitude of the situation. I can leave for Andoria immediately. I wish you luck finding Portal 6-3. The very future of the Federation may rest in your hands.
It takes a minimum of 8 crew on the bridge to run the ship. So we can expect at least that many hostiles.
If they bioformed Hadri, they know we're coming.
Which means everyone needs to be ready for... Take cover!
Now what? We need that door sealed.
We can handle that. Where do you need us?
There's an access panel there. You should be able to patch into the local systems.
We'll be shot getting there.
I'll cover you. On my signal. Now!
Damn!
Looking for the bridge doors. Wait, what's this?
Got something?
Gravity. If I invert the artificial gravity inside the bridge, that'll throw anyone on the bridge right up into the ceiling.
He'll never see it coming.
Hey, Tosca, get ready to charge.
Charge?
Reversing gravity polarity. Now!
Amazing!
Close it!
How do we get them down? What are we gonna do with them?
We don't have time to take prisoners.
So you're just gonna shoot him?
I haven't decided yet.
That's not just up to you.
I'm the ranking officer.
And we're not in your army.
They're a threat as long as they're alive.
Carter!
Finally, some sense from Starfleet.
I won't allow it.
You're an engineer, not a soldier. This is clearly my territory.
You think you have enemy combatants here? This is a hostage situation. And Starfleet doesn't kill hostages. Each one of them has an innocent life inside. I'll keep watch on them.
As will I. We can't let our guard down around the enemy.
Petty Officer Diaz and I will figure out how to stop the ship.
Let's hurry. The rest of the Takan could show up any minute. Crystals. They're all over this place. Huh.
Careful where you point that thing.
It's not active. I can't see any way this would work as a weapon. It's dead.
Out of ammo?
Not sure. That's everything. We got some answers.
I don't like what they tell us, though.
If we can learn nothing else, then what's left is to make these Takan talk. And if they don't, we'll dispose of them.
Hey, that's not how we do this.
That is enough from you. I thought that thing was useless.
It was. No power. Until he touched it. Weapons must be biocoded.
Our technology will only work for one of our kind.
I can assure you, this weapon works just fine for me.
Slow down, Arminta.
You can't control the ship with a disruptor.
But I can use it to control you.
Ah!
Let's talk.
The Titan's communications officer says Captain Riker will be ready in just a moment. You need to see this. The report on the data breach.
Damn. It's worse than I'd hoped. They didn't just compromise our shields. They stole the shield algorithms for all of Starfleet as well. Meaning every ship is potentially vulnerable to attack, making this so much worse than it already was.
Given the potential consequences, we should notify Starfleet as soon as possible.
I don't disagree, but I'll reach out to Ambassador Spock about it. I don't want to cause a panic, and I doubt he does either.
I have Captain Riker for you.
Let's not mention any of this shield business to Riker just yet. Put him through. Captain Riker, this is my first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
My pleasure.
Sir.
I wish we were all meeting under better circumstances.
So do I, although you and I have actually met before.
We have?
I was a young lieutenant on the Potemkin. You were first officer on the Tuckerman. I piloted you and our science officer in a shuttle to survey quantum resonance in the planetary rings of Residius 6.
Ah, yes. And now I remember.
You know, he gave me some good advice that day about a very difficult job. Yours.
Well, I'm not one to turn down some words of wisdom, sir.
Then let me ask, as first officer on a starship, where does your responsibility lie, first and foremost? To the captain, the crew, or the ship itself?
Oh, this old chestnut. I am curious to hear what she says, though.
My job is to support the captain, carry out his orders, and ensure his safety. Even if I disagree with him.
I like that. But the truth is, it's a trick question. Every situation is different, and there are no easy answers. And in some cases, it might not be any of those three. It could be the prime directive. Or the mission.
Yes, so perhaps we should get to the matter at hand. When you were with the Enterprise, you encountered a Takan entity known as Portal 6-3. The Enterprise was held captive in orbit until you were able to convince him to let the ship go.
All of which is detailed in the mission report.
What we want from you is what we can't get from the report. What can we use to get Portal 6-3 to help us?
I've often thought about that over the years. How a small difference in the encounter could have led to disaster. The most important thing is, don't let him push you around. He can appear as a man, or as a godlike projection. He'll test you, but don't be overwhelmed by the pageantry and theatrics.
I'll stand up to him. You can trust in that.
Good, but that's just the first step. Portal is full of bluster and bravado, but he can be reasoned with. And that's my other piece of advice. You want to appeal to him rationally. You don't want him thinking you're acting out of fear.
But we are afraid of the Takan, and with good reason.
He's not the sort to suffer fools. And he'll lose interest if he feels his time is being wasted.
I suppose that's one thing we have in common.
Do you think he will go against his own people?
He was proud of his empire. He called us barbarians. Maybe you can find a way to make him see these people claiming to be Takan aren't real Takan. They're corrupting his legacy.
What if he won't cooperate and we have to face these Takan ourselves?
Then we have a much bigger problem on our hands.
What I mean is, in the 16 years since you discovered this outpost, there has to have been research. Battle plans for what to do about the Takan if we encountered more of them. I need to know what they are.
If I had that answer, it would have been the first thing I told you.
We both know Command has had their share of hidden plans in the past. Like Admiral Hansen and Captain Shelby's Special Projects Division at Starfleet Tactical, devising new ways to take on the Borg.
Trust me, this isn't some Starfleet conspiracy to keep you in the dark. But if you two don't think you're equipped to make contact, you need to tell me now. Because there is no silver bullet here. Now's not the time to hesitate.
There are some things you can't be prepared for. And if there are no specific tactical solutions, we'll just have to take our chances. After all, risk is our business.
We try to mitigate that risk as best we can. But the Starfleet we know today was built on that attitude.
Well said.
There was a special task force that considered the Takan, and I was part of it. But because there were no other signs of the Empire, we determined the best course of action was to create a restricted zone around the Delphi-Ardu system. I have my concerns, but I'll clear the way with the brass for your travel into the restricted space. Just remember what I've told you. And it wouldn't hurt to read some Sun Tzu en route. Or Marcus Aurelius.
Anything else?
Machiavelli?
I don't plan on failing, Captain Riker.
That's just the attitude you'll need to bring with you. Rest assured, the Federation is taking this threat very seriously. You won't be alone out there for too long.
Thank you, Captain Riker.
One more thing. Ambassador Spock said that Takan stole some data from your central computer. What's that all about?
We're still assessing the extent of the breach. Nothing to report as of right now.
That's it? Ambassador Spock suggested it was something more serious, which is why I'm asking.
We have our best people sorting it out. It's under control.
Okay. If I may, I recommend you keep Starfleet Command looped in very closely on that matter. There's a lot riding on this. And if it comes to it, the Titan and I will be ready to personally lend a hand in this fight.
Let's hope it doesn't get that far.
Barbarians. It's him. How dare you disturb me? I'd hoped you had enough sense to leave of your own accord, but here you stand. Fools. In another time, I would have destroyed you and your ship simply for setting foot in this place. Fortunately for you, that time has passed.
Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire. We've come a long way to meet you.
Guardian? I am Guardian of nothing. The Takan no longer exist. Don't care to be reminded. If this is why you've come, then you should leave. Now.
I'll cut right to it. The Takan have returned.
Returned? My people have come back? How can that be? I've been alone for so long. If it is true, how did they return?
Draconian technology made it possible. To enable the transfer of consciousness from one being to another after physical death. We call it bioforming. A group of Draconians calling themselves Scions of the Flame used it to reawaken after hundreds of millennia.
Scions of the Flame?
Is something wrong?
I'd hardly call them Takan. They were a radical faction with beliefs outside the mainstream. Beliefs that lesser life forms should serve as vessels to ensure Takan immortality. You want me to help you destroy them. That's why you've come. You want to destroy these Scions.
I won't lie to you. Yes, we want to destroy them.
You don't mince words.
They have an incredibly powerful energy source they call the Cartabula.
These Scions have the Cartabula.
And they've used it as a weapon against us.
I will speak with you alone.
What are you doing? Where are we? Where's my team?
They're safe where we left them. What you call bioforming, we thought of as a marginal science. But if these reborn Takan plan to restore the Empire, is that a disaster to be avoided? Draconian technology is so advanced, it could save millions of species currently on the brink of extinction, including your own. And at the price of a small few, think of how the many could benefit. Instead, it sounds as if you are reacting out of fear before you have a full understanding of what's at stake. I don't think you've given this full consideration. You may have more to gain than to lose.
The Takan Empire is gone. It had its opportunity and proved unable to survive. There must have been a reason the Takan have faded to a distant memory. It ran its course. And those of us who are here now deserve to choose our own fate.
You said the Takan vanished for a reason. I cannot claim our empire was without sin. I'm curious to see these Scions masquerading as true Takan. So I will go with you, and we shall find them. But when we do, I will judge them myself as a guardian of the Takan, to understand their true intentions, for better or worse.
That's good enough for me.
Very well. I'll return now.
Commander!
Hold your fire. I'm all right. He's coming with us.
We assumed the worst.
She's perfectly fine. Now then, shall we?
All right. We can beam up your... Do you have any equipment or tools?
Whoa.
This is all I need.
A Away team +1. Ready to beam up.
Shoot! Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core. Warp drive disengaged. You did it.
You got that escape plan for me?
I think so. Itasca, can you climb?
I'll see you on the parade grounds of Cirella, my friend. You want me? I'm right here. Not you too.
Calm yourself, child. It will all be better soon. Wake up, Manka Umet. Return to us. Rejoin the flame.
To reclaim what was lost.
We don't need to watch this. I do. I want to remember every moment when I make them pay. But this isn't the end. I will avenge Itasca. Swear to me, you will join me in this.
How about we try to save her?
That's a dream.
I swear, we will make them pay for it.
The search starts in engineering. Whoever planted the device most likely did it within the last few hours. So I'll start by running a scan, tracking everyone who came through engineering over the last day, in reverse order.
This could take forever to sort through the number of people that were in engineering.
Cross-referencing this list with everyone who's traveled to Hotari.
That helps.
Filtering for outliers. People who don't work in engineering.
Now this is manageable.
I'll filter out the duplicates. Let's see who's left. No, this can't be right.
What?
Of the people that went to Hotari and visited engineering, it could only have been Captain Solano.
According to this, he was here while you went down to Delphi Ardu 4. Which would have been the perfect opportunity. And no one would question him. He's the captain.
He fits the profile for the kind of people the Takan want to bioform. People with authority that can lead to them gaining more control.
Like Galvin? The Queen?
The captain of a Federation starship.
What happened when Dr. Duval bioscanned Captain Solano?
That's just it. She never did.
How is that possible?
Something more urgent would always come up. There was nothing she could do. But performing a bioscan is the only way to be absolutely sure.
That's not going to be easy. First thing I need to do is get this device to Portal.
Be careful. And good luck.
I'll need it. I've found the device.
Interference is gone. I have located Galvin's ship more precisely. He's in the Usonia system.
So then it worked.
This whole region was one of the most sacred for the ancient Takan. What many consider the birthplace of our civilization. See these comets and planetoids in the outer orbits? Based on their current trajectory, that's Galvin's destination. And legend tells us it's the location of what was once our largest arsenal. Not that we needed it in the late stages of the Empire, but it was there as a precaution nonetheless.
Can you stop him? Cripple their ship somehow?
I'm afraid they are too far away for my powers to reach them. We need to be much closer, and even then, they may have defenses against what I am able to do. If Galvin and the other Scions secure the arsenal, they will become extremely dangerous. My people had such power at the height of the Empire. The Takan were as gods, keeping absolute control over countless worlds. I must speak with them directly. However, the presence of this device is worrying. It's highly likely it was placed here by a Scion, hidden among your crew, and it is unlikely this interference device was the Scion Saboteur's only trap. If we reach Galvin and the Saboteur cripples your ship, we will be at their mercy. Even my powers will not be able to protect us. Do you know who it is? They may well do more damage if left alone. Time is not on your side.
I'm fairly convinced they bioformed Captain Solano.
I knew there was a reason I didn't like him. That explains it. Bioforming was so rare in the time of the Empire that I am not able to detect if it has taken place. Proof of your claim is something you will have to produce yourself.
Then, we have to bioscan him. I'll talk to Dr. Duval.
That's quite the claim. Last time we spoke, you said Solano was perfectly fine.
I wouldn't be asking you if there was any other possibility.
That would explain why Solano has been too busy for a bioscan lately.
As the ship's doctor, you have the authority to declare him unfit to serve.
If you're right, this is the worst-case scenario. Challenging your own captain is a tall order. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you fail, that's it. The end of your career. Maybe your life.
I don't know if I would be on my own. But with your support, I'm sure we can do it.
That smooth talking may come in handy. I'm in. But we can't pull this off with just the two of us. I technically have the authority to make Solano undergo a scan, but in reality, he can and will refuse to do it. We need at least another member of the senior staff to support your claim, or this could all blow up in our faces. You better think long and hard about who you can trust.
Down to one reactor. I thought we'd be stopped dead. At least stuck at impulse power.
The Takan enhancements must be able to brute force limited bursts of warp output.
Yeah, but they won't get to wherever they were headed at this rate. They're just limping along now.
It's now or never.
Captain Solano.
Commander Rydek, we need to talk about... Doctor? What brings you to the bridge?
Just a bit of housekeeping. You owe me a bioscan, Captain.
I don't have time for that right now.
It will only take a moment. I can't put this off any longer.
You can, and you will. All you'll find is that I'm quite reasonably under stress given the circumstances, and you aren't making it better. I'll find you in sickbay when I'm good and ready. Or, if you're gonna stand in the way of the mission, I can find you in the brig instead.
I hope you're not hiding something, Captain. If you aren't, there's no reason to refuse.
I don't like your implication.
Commander Rydek is right, Captain. We all have to follow the rules.
What is this?
We need you to comply with the scan, Captain.
That's enough. Drop this. All of you. I'm giving you a direct order, Commander Rydek. Stand down and go back to your post. Now. Do not make me tell you again. I've been a starship captain since before you were in the Academy.
I'd follow that order, if you were actually Captain Solano.
Well then, there's only one thing left to do. Security to the bridge. Arrest Commander Rydek. Take her to the brig.
On what charge?
Conspiring with the enemy and mutiny.
Get back. Give her a chance to speak. Let's hear what she has to say.
That's enough, Lieutenant Bedrosian. Step aside or you'll join her in the brig.
No.
This is not Captain Solano. He's been bioformed. He's a scion.
You're out of your mind.
She can prove it.
He sabotaged our efforts to track Galvin with this. He planted it in engineering while we were down on Delphi Ardu 4.
Lies! Perpetrated by the only Takan in our midst, Portal 6-3. He's actively trying to divide us from within.
Captain Solano has refused to be bioscanned because he knows it will reveal he's a scion.
Take her to the brig or I'll do it myself. Oh!
Wait! Stand down! That's an order!
What is the meaning of this? Everyone hold until we get answers. This cannot happen on the bridge of a Federation starship.
I can prove I'm right if you just give me a chance. If I'm wrong, then I will face the consequences.
If you're wrong, there's no coming back from this.
I'm going to settle this once and for all.
Commander Rydek was right. Captain Solano has been compromised. He's been bioformed into a Takan.
As the Chief Medical Officer of the USS Resolute, I am relieving Captain Zachary Solano of command.
Take him to the brig.
I don't know what I expected, but not this. I can't believe I shot the captain. I don't think Starfleet likes it when you do that.
I might not be alive if you hadn't.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Set course for the Usonia system. Maximum warp. It's time to face Galvin.
Yes, Commander. Sorry. Captain. On your command.
Do it. Red alert! All hands to battle stations. Shield status.
Set to maximum, but with the algorithms compromised, they may not do much.
Captain, that other Alydian ship is here.
The Zeldi?
We're outnumbered.
Captain, your orders.
Return fire on the Zeldi.
Returning fire! No effect. Their shields are holding.
The Veskar's warp engines are powering up.
Our warp engines are offline.
That must have been their goal. They didn't want us to chase the Veskar.
According to my readings, they also took the Cartabula with them.
They're not breaking off. We have to destroy the Zeldi before it destroys us.
Diaz and Edsalar still over there?
They'll need to evacuate.
Come on.
I almost have it.
They gotta know we're here.
Got it! Diaz to Resolute!
We read you, Diaz.
This is Ermot. It's good to hear your voice. Is Edsalar? Is she with you? Everyone wants to know.
Yeah, we're both here. We're both okay.
Very good, Petty Officer.
Can you get us out of here?
I can't transport you out while the Zeldi's shields are up. Our phaser fire won't even get through. Is there another way off that ship?
We'll find a way.
Whatever you do, you'll have to be quick about it, because we can't give you much more time. We can't let them fire on the Zeldi.
Understood. Diaz out. We're gonna have to get out of here the old-fashioned way.
Alydian ships have no escape pods.
We can leave out that cargo bay we transported to before. Then there's the vacuum of space to contend with.
Those freight containers. Maybe we could use those to make an escape pod?
Is that even possible?
We're gonna make it possible. Unless you have a better idea.
Let's go.
I've polarized the hull plating. That should allow us to take a few more hits. Enemy phaser impact dissipated.
Heading, Captain?
Attack pattern Beta 3. Circle around that asteroid and come back firing.
Aye, Captain.
Zeldi, in range.
Fire!
Zeldi's shields down to 82%.
We're doing damage, but they're hitting us right back. We'll run out of hull before we penetrate their shields.
Perhaps I can be of assistance. I can modify your impulse engines to amplify their meager output and avoid more of their attacks. But I will need full access to your propulsion systems.
That goes against dozens of Starfleet regulations.
Not a security risk if the alternative is destruction.
To me, it's simple. You can take this beating and hope you can weather it. Or will you put your trust in me? I've left everything behind for you. The least you can do is put your faith in me.
Commander Ermot, give portal access to the propulsion systems. You're going to have the ship in your hands. Don't let me down.
This will take a moment.
Your ship has let up its fire.
That gives us some time.
All right. One of these freight containers should do the trick.
Be quick.
We need one big enough for all of us to fit inside. Something we can make airtight.
Not enough room for the big guy.
Damn it, not this one.
No way this will hold up in a vacuum. Go, here we go. This'll work.
That's great, but it's not airtight yet.
No problem. We'll just seal it up.
This container is extremely heavy. Even with the containment field open, it won't leave the bay quickly. I'll find something to accelerate our exit.
Glancing blow. Very little damage.
I cannot keep this up for long.
Their phaser banks are recharging. Now's our window. We have to strike back.
I agree.
Their next barrage could be our last. Better make this count.
Target their weapon systems. Take the teeth out of their bite.
That could make them run. Just like the Veskar, we'd lose Diaz and Etzelar again. Hit their engines. We've already lost the Veskar.
We need to protect ourselves first.
Target their propulsion systems. I don't want them going anywhere.
Targeting their engines.
Whoa. We gotta move it now.
These will give us the push we need.
Those are explosives.
We'll ride the blast right out of here. All set.
I'll set the containment field to deactivate, and then run back. We can detonate by remote.
We'll need to seal the doors from inside the container once we do.
Before all the air sucks out of the cargo bay.
Just a few more moments.
Hurry! What are they doing in there? Please, help me!
No. The Takan get what they deserve.
Don't leave me to die.
I don't know. Can we really leave her?
We can't. We don't have the time. We have to seal ourselves in.
This ship can't fly! Sidron set it to self-destruct! Please, Amenta!
Oh,
It's not her.
no. I know it's not.
Carter, we have to seal the doors.
Don't leave me!
Get this lifeboat off the ship before Sidron blows it all to hell!
We're going.
Etzelar to Resolute.
I have the awaiting.
Go ahead.
We're about to exit.
We see the cargo bay containment field is deactivated.
Get that tractor beam ready. And you should know, the Zeldy is set to self-destruct.
If we do enough damage to the Zeldy first, it'll prevent the self-destruct sequence from completing.
We can't wait any longer. We have to fire.
Captain, they're almost out of there.
We need to act fast.
Hold all fire! Get out of there, Petty Officer. Do it now!
You heard her.
Done!
Ready?
Detonate!
Oh!
We're out!
I have them on sensors. Tractor beam activating.
Locked on and ready to fire.
Fire!
Tractor beams locked on. We have them. They'll be pulled into the docking bay shortly.
There's something else. I tracked a transporter signal to the planetoid moments before the Zeldi detonated.
Sidron.
There's a Takan structure there. It's the reason they were here. It's the reason we are here. Now.
I have to see it for myself. We'll go there together.
I had assumed as much.
Is this the Takan arsenal Galvin was after?
Legend says this region once held the sacred mysteries of the Takan Empire. Our greatest treasure. Our most fearsome technology.
I want a full security detail. Westbrook, Bredrosian, you're with me. Mr. Ermont, you have the con.
Wait. You're not the first officer anymore. The captain is supposed to stay with the ship. I'm surprised Lieutenant Bedrosian didn't raise that first.
I thought Captain Rydek knew what she was doing.
That's the protocol. But it's also a captain's prerogative to break that protocol.
I suppose it is.
We'll deal with the first officer vacancy when we return. Until then, Mr. Ermont?
Yes, Captain.
Any sign of Sidron?
Not that I can see.
High alert, everyone. The enemy could be anywhere. Follow my lead.
Let's make this a short mission, all right?
That's the plan.
Not your call to come down here. Still not sure I agree. But I respect the chain of command.
You're welcome. Better to keep it simple. Sometimes the answer is staring you right in the face.
Thank you. Definitely easier this way. Spread out. Let's see what we can find. And stay on high alert. We don't know where the Takan that beamed down here could be.
You will need my help, Commander.
How so?
Traversal here is trivial for a Takan, but only a Takan. When you come across a device you cannot use, merely call my name.
Will do. Thank you. This pattern resembles the transporter device Petty Officer Maris used to escape the Resolute. Portal 6-3?
You wish to make use of this device?
It's a transporter of some kind?
It allows Takan to move through space instantly a short distance. Very convenient. I will activate the system for you.
Where does it go?
I'm not sure. The markings here must be from after my time.
Well, only one way to find out. is this here?
This is soil from the homeworld. Our capital system. This isn't an arsenal. It's a temple of the ancients. Sacred ground to the Takan. I took my oath as a guardian of the Empire in a place just like this. You cannot imagine the look of pride in my parents' eyes as they said goodbye. Forever. Sorry. This is the first I've seen of anything new from the Takan Empire in a very long time. I'm sure you're familiar with the feeling. That sense of loss. I thought I was ready for it. But it cuts to the core of your being.
I'm so sorry to put you through this. I know it must be difficult.
Don't apologize. I'm glad I came. This means a great deal to me.
Can you use this to find out more about what Galvin is after?
The information's encrypted. I can only discern that it's a warship. No. It's the Aphelion. Perhaps the most powerful Takonian ship ever built. I can't access the full file, but looking through the ship's schematics, it appears to be equipped with some sort of experimental, highly advanced transporter technology.
Transporter technology? For what?
Captain, you better come see this.
I've seen these before, in the other vault. And if all of those are the same as this, then there must be
Hundreds of millions, if not billions. All that remains of the Takan civilization. Distinct person, encapsulated in crystalline form. Preserved for all eternity.
You thought this was an arsenal. And in a way, you're right. This is how they rebuild the Takan Empire, and bioform billions of innocent people.
That seems to be the case. What you have to understand is, these life forms were preserved for the benefit of the Takan civilization, as a means of safeguarding the health and well-being of any Takan, should they fall prey to illness or injury. They were never intended to be used for this purpose.
There you are wrong. This was always their purpose, to restore the glory that was lost. Congratulations on your first victory in battle, Captain Rydek. You killed a great many of my compatriots, some that I've known for millennia. Are you proud of how much death you've caused? Each Takan life is precious, irreplaceable. Centuries of knowledge and culture, lost with each one you murder.
I was protecting my crew. It's regrettable to take any life. But when someone threatens galactic civilization, force is the correct response.
And I suppose it worked. For now. Thankfully, I don't have to convince you of anything. We'll all be on the same side soon enough.
You can't just bioform whoever you want. Not without a fight.
Ah, but that's just it. There won't be a fight. In fact, most won't even know what's happened. One minute you're standing there as you. The next, you're standing here as one of us.
He's talking about mass transformation. That's what the Aphelion was built for.
The transporter. It'll reconstitute your DNA and bioform you into a Takan in the blink of an eye. This is what they'll use as ammunition.
In a manner of speaking, yes. Of course, that's the simple version. But the end result will be the same.
I realize you're here to gloat, and you seem pretty confident, but I'm not gonna let that happen.
It already is happening. The Aphelion is on its way here as we speak. Now it's only a matter of time. You can't delay that which is inevitable. Which makes your next decision fairly simple, brother. You are, after all, a portal.
I am.
Your sole purpose is to serve as a guardian of the Takan Empire. But you stand here surrounded not by your fellow Takan, but by members of the Federation. By people who deny our fundamental right to exist. You swore an oath to protect the Empire. And I can only assume that's why you're here.
You have the audacity to suggest we're trying to deny your right to exist? You attacked us!
Merely a demonstration of our strength, and the futility of fighting the inevitable. Which side are you on?
Captain Rydek, long-range sensors suggest a massive spacecraft approaching in the distance.
The time has come. I hope we speak again, brother.
Estimated time to contact, 6 minutes and counting.
We can't stay here. We have to get back to the ship.
And we have to preserve these souls. We must take them back to your ship.
Those crystals are ammunition to be used against us. We have to destroy them. Bombard the site from orbit.
I'll decide, once we're safely aboard the Resolute. Forta transport.
You have to hear me out, Captain. I lost my eyes because of you. I committed mutiny for you. But if you bring those things on board, I'll have no choice but to resign.
If they're taken to the Aphelion, they will be forced into new bodies, brought back to life in a way they never asked for.
They're not living beings, but they're still dangerous. And if you don't make decisions to protect us, we're gonna end up like Solano. You, me, the entire crew. We're all next.
Two minutes and counting. It's headed straight toward the vault. The Aphelion is coming into view now, Captain.
On screen.
Arrival at the second vault in less than a minute.
I would remind you, those life forms are Takan. Not science, Takan. They're not your enemy.
Right or wrong, history will judge you for this moment.
Destroy the vault.
Aye, Captain. Firing photon torpedoes.
target has been destroyed.
I am alone. Again. As I was for all those years.
Bringing those Takan on board was too big a risk, and I couldn't leave them there. They could be used to bioform more of my crew, or even—
I do not need your rationalization for mass murder. Your actions speak loudly enough.
Captain, the Aphelion is targeting us. Approaching rapidly.
They hit us with that bioforming ray, and it's over. Maximum warp. Get us out of here.
Where, Captain?
Anywhere but here. Now!
There they are!
You did what had to be done with the Tasker. You said you'd avenge her, and you did. The Tasker can rest now. Even if I wavered in the moment. It wasn't a question of time.
We'll have Ambassador Spock via subspace shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Armand.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar have first-hand experience with our adversaries. I thought it advantageous for them to join this briefing. I understand this is unusual, but I trust you have no objections?
Talk about moving up in the world. Not that I'm surprised in the least.
Excellent idea, Mr. Chovak. They deserve to be here.
In all seriousness, what Diaz and Edsalar accomplished aboard the Zeldi is nothing short of remarkable. They're both to be commended, not only for surviving against incredible odds, but for helping our efforts against these scions.
You know, Carter deserves most of the credit. None of us would have made it without his help. We'd all be bioformed by this point.
Well, I could say the same thing about Edsalar here. She deserves as much of the credit as I do.
It's like a mutual admiration society.
Ambassador Spock is ready for you.
Put him through.
Captain Rydek, your recent change in station certainly warrants mention, and I trust you to faithfully execute your expanded duties. Right now, we must keep our attention on the clear and present danger that lies ahead, the Takan and their warship. The closest populations are the Hotari and Alydian systems, and they are likely the first targets for mass bioforming. After that, lies Federation space. I have advised Starfleet Command to send an impromptu battle group to intercept and assist you, but that will take time. You are our first line of defense. And with our shield algorithms compromised, we are at a great disadvantage. Of course, you know that as well as I do.
I'm glad to hear the battle group is en route, Ambassador. With what we're up against, we're gonna need all the help we can get.
And you will have it. Remember, our strength is drawn from our ability to work together towards a common goal.
Have we made any progress in finding a way to defend ourselves from the Aphelion's bioforming weapon?
Currently, our shields will not protect us, but I am compiling all of the information the away team gathered on the Zeldi and cross-referencing it against our own as well as Portal 6-3's methods.
The away team is sitting right here. They survived without getting bioformed, so we know it's possible. So, what's the secret? How do we defend ourselves? Is there a weakness we can exploit? Something we can do to avoid getting bioformed?
I wish I could tell you the solution. But the truth is, there is no easy answer. There's no defense against bioforming. One-on-one or on a mass scale. At least, not that I know of.
You may not be able to stop it, but it might be possible to slow it down. It's too soon to say for sure, but we've had some promising indications that Duridium can delay the bioforming process.
Duridium?
It's not a cure. It's not going to bring anyone back we've already lost. But Duridium is a cell stabilizer, so it has the potential to slow down the onset of physical and mental changes, if not entirely prevent them. And it might be the only ship in the fleet with this much Duridium on hand. In fact, a lot of ships wouldn't have any.
You say that it slows the process, but this doesn't actually stop the Takan from taking over, does it?
Correct. I can't be 100% certain, but it appears this is only a short-term solution. Also, it requires a much larger dose to be effective. We don't have enough Duridium on board to protect the whole crew. We barely have enough to protect everyone in this room.
Sounds like it won't do us much good then.
The use case I'd suggest is that it could buy a little time for an officer or a small group to complete a task or mission. But it has to be taken at the moment of exposure to the bioforming mechanism.
Prepare a delivery method for this remedy.
That raises the question. What is the mission?
The Zeldi's shields were stronger than anticipated. If the Aphelion has even more effective protection, we'll have difficulty breaking through.
We may not be able to block the Aphelions' attack either. But if they do strike, we know their weapon uses transporter technology. We might be able to backtrack their signal path.
Like we did to evacuate Captain Rydek from Tau.
Exactly. We could send an away team onto the Aphelion.
And destroy it from the inside. Modify photon torpedoes to use as explosives.
So it's like jujitsu. We use their attack and turn it against them.
That's the idea.
We'll keep thinking on it. I'd rather not have to take a direct hit to punch back. There might be some other way we can turn their strength into a weakness.
I'll have security personnel prep a boarding party, should the opportunity arise.
Petty Officers Edsalar and Diaz are the logical choices to lead any away mission to the Aphelion. They have already crippled one enemy ship. If anyone can do so again, it is them.
This isn't a rescue. It's a tactical incursion. Do you really have some special insights, as Commander Chovak suggests?
Doesn't the fact that we're here speak for itself?
Just surviving won't be enough this time.
Sabotage is kind of becoming our specialty. We'll find a way to get the job done.
Well, he certainly has the swagger for it.
If this is the necessary course of action, I support it.
With the help of Portal. He should be part of the away team.
I will compile all the latest data on the tricorders, just in case.
In the meantime, I want you working on ways we can combat the Takan tech. Shields, weapons, anything we can use.
Yes, Captain.
Anything else, Ambassador?
I know this matter is in capable hands. Hold the line as best you can. Help is on the way.
Thank you. I have faith in all of you to meet this moment with the urgency it requires. I expect all of us to give it everything we've got. Thank you, Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar. You're dismissed.
While we have a quorum of senior staff, there is a procedural element we need to take care of. The Resolute command codes must be transferred to Captain Rydek for control of the ship.
Of course.
Computer, transfer all command codes to Captain Jara Rydek. Voice authorization Ermot, Echo 4 Lima.
Voice authorization Duval. Beta 2 Yankee.
Voice authorization Westbrook. Alpha 7 Tango.
Awaiting your authorization, Captain.
Voice authorization, Rydek. Bravo. 5. X-ray.
Captain's codes transfer. The updated command structure is incomplete. Please designate a new first officer.
Who is the new first officer?
Please designate a new first officer.
I am proud to name Commander Ermont as my new first officer, effective immediately. Congratulations.
Thank you, Captain. I promise I won't let you down.
Computer, Commander Ermont is the new first officer of the USS Resolute.
Awaiting voice authorization.
Voice authorization Ermont, Echo 4 Lima.
Authorization is now complete.
Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
Nicely done. I think that went well.
Captain Rydek!
Excuse me for a minute.
This is just unbelievable, unacceptable, inexplicable! To be the most senior officer on the bridge, and to be passed over again? I couldn't believe you went to Lieutenant Bedrosian with the information about Captain Solano being compromised instead of me. But this... I've never felt more humiliated.
I know how you must feel given your seniority and history aboard this ship. You have every right to be angry, but I had to factor what would best serve our interests at this particular point in time. Which is why I chose Commander Ermont.
He's not even close to being first officer material. He's little more than a bureaucrat who's never set foot off the ship. That is a serious liability at a time when we need experience. Otherwise, we don't stand a chance against the Scions.
You're entitled to your opinion, but I completely disagree with your assessment. Commander Ermont is an extremely competent professional who's more than up to the task, and he'll be an excellent first officer.
I'll be requesting a transfer off this ship at the first opportunity. Ridiculous.
I don't understand. Giving it everything she's got, but it doesn't make a difference. Something is actively slowing us down. We're being pulled out of warp!
I've got the Aphelion rapidly bearing down on our position.
We're being hailed by the Aphelion. Galvin demands to be heard.
On screen.
From the inevitable.
Please, spare me your threats. We've all heard enough of your grandstanding.
I should destroy you now and be done with it. We both know I hold your fate in the palm of my hand. That I could crush you in an instant if I so desired. And as much as I'd like to, you have another purpose to serve. As one of us.
Red alert! Pandar, get us out of here! Evasive maneuvers!
They've hit us, decks 8 through 10. But I'm not reading any structural damage.
They were targeting the crew, not the ship.
Captain, we have to respond with force.
Target the source of the beam!
Photon torpedoes are having no impact, Captain. We can't get past their shields.
The Aphilion's just too powerful.
Damage report from the lower decks.
Still can't get through on the comms, Captain. If that was the bioforming ray, we have to assume there are now Takan on board the Resolute. Nothing. I can't reach anyone on the lower decks. Internal comms appear to be fully operational again.
That bioforming ray may have transformed dozens of crew members on the lower decks.
Fighting the Aphelion is bad enough. The last thing we need is an insurrection on our own ship.
Which means we have a narrow window of time to cut them off before...
Captain! We're holding them off as best we can on Deck 9, but...
There could be crew members who weren't affected who could get locked inside.
That's a risk we'll have to take.
Locking down the lower decks.
Stop! Identify yourselves!
We're just trying to figure out what's happening. Ah, to hell with it.
You have to get to the computer core! Go!
Awaiting Captain's authorization.
Cancel computer shutdown. Voice authorization, Rydek. Bravo. 5. X-ray.
Termination sequence cancelled.
Doing everything I can, but I can't shake her!
They're targeting our engines. With bioform Takan on board, they'd rather cripple us if they can.
If we lose the engines, we can't avoid the bioforming ray. Brace for impact!
They're here!
We're being hailed by the USS Titan.
Put them through.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Resolute. We got here as fast as we could. Looks like you've got your hands full with this monster. That flying chandelier really packs a punch.
We're damn glad to see you, Captain. We could use all the help we can get.
I told you I'd be here. So, what are we up against?
They're powering up for another attack.
We have to warn them. Open a channel to all Starfleet ships immediately.
Starting emergency transmission.
This is Captain Jara Rydek of the USS Resolute. The ship we're fighting is armed with a bioforming ray that can transform your entire crew instantaneously. And they've stolen our shield algorithms, so there's nothing we can do to stop them. Avoid being hit at all costs.
I wish we'd known that before we got here.
It's only a matter of time before they get their bearings. And when they do, they're going to turn against us. The sooner we attack them, the better.
They could all be Takan. Or none of them. We can't assume anything yet.
I can't attack another Federation ship. I need alternatives. Full impulse power. Take us in for a closer look.
Aye, Captain.
That's not a Starfleet ship. The Takan have it.
Shields at full power!
Shields are holding against the Pawtucket's attack. For now, at least.
phasers!
Firing. Shields at 60%. Heavy damage reported in astrometrics.
Handar, evasive maneuvers! Get us out of here!
Aye, Captain!
Don't worry, Resolute. We've got your back.
Their weapon systems are offline.
Captain, I suggest we minimize the collateral damage. Destroy their engines and we can turn our focus to the Aphelion. It's the most prudent thing to do. And I hope they would do the same if the situation was reversed.
Take out their engines. Fire when ready.
Targeting their engines. Commencing fire. Now.
Captain Rydek, the Aphelion is too much for any one of us to take on alone. But collectively, we might just have a shot.
On our way. Full impulse power.
Aye, Captain.
Target the bioforming ray. Fire photon torpedoes.
Firing photon torpedoes.
I've lost helm control. Trying to re-establish.
Weapons and defensive systems are down too.
Engine output remains consistent, but it's not reaching its destination.
This is what happened to the Enterprise.
They're draining our energy.
We're caught in it too.
I hope the away team finds some way to help.
Here are your new tricorders. Now go. Get to the transporter room.
Energize. This way.
Look there. I cannot move as freely inside this ship. Those emitters are why. If they were deactivated, I could travel past this chamber without setting foot in it.
Only Takan can use Takan technology. How do I turn them off?
Place these on the emitters. It will suppress their effect. The guards none the wiser.
Got it.
I'm coming too.
If we both get caught, it's over. If it's just me, you can try again after I fail.
Well then, don't screw it up.
Well done.
Let's get out of here. More emitters. Guess we can't teleport the rest of the way.
Get in!
This would go faster if you could distract them.
It's a Guardian. He's with them. Guardian! You saw what they did to our ancestors! How do you stand with them?
We can't move this without him.
What are you doing, old man?
I will not harm them. I know where they are. You don't have to tell me. I am the last trueborn Takan. But I don't want to see my Empire's legacy wiped from existence. Your captain has already destroyed so many.
I know what she did. And while I understand her reasons, I don't have to like the destruction of your history.
It was more than history. When Riker and the Enterprise first woke me, I called them barbarians. I should have trusted my instincts.
You can look down on us all you want, but we're not barbarians. No matter what you think.
You should pay more heed to what I think, Starfleet. If there is a way to disable the Aphelion, it's there. We strike at the heart. I wouldn't do that. We have to turn off this energy field to enter. I must do it. It requires the hands of a Takan. Is it working?
It started.
Is the opening wide enough to get through? Well, is it wide enough?
No, but I can see the Cartabula.
What about now? Still not wide enough. I will try again.
Portal 6-3! I'm not going to remind you of the oath you took. I want you to remember why you made it. Your bond to your people. You don't have to be alone. You can rejoin us. Just step aside, Guardian, and we will handle them. These pests will become the vessels For our glory! You won't stand in the way of our rebirth! The Scions of the Flame will rise, and you will be a part of it!
You're gonna have to do better than that to turn Portal. He's one of us now.
So much is lost. All in the name of Federation.
Yes.
I could smell your betrayal.
I could have killed you both, easily. But the part of me that is still Miranda won't let me. She compels me to bring you into the fold. I will make you one of us. Trust me, this is the best outcome you can hope for. Soon, you'll understand. Finally, we can be... rejoin the flame.
Negotiator. Varego etos senyuki.
Are you all right? Carter, I'm sorry I hesitated. I tried to keep her from getting you. If I just shot her sooner, you wouldn't be like this.
It's okay. I don't blame you.
She's really gone.
can read it.
What is this? Who are you? Tell me now!
Shut up.
Carter, you're kind of scaring me.
It's okay. I'm still in control. We've reached the Cartabula.
Very good. Are you all right?
Yeah, we're inside. That's what matters.
Two of ours are keeping the bioform ships at bay, but they can't hold them off forever.
I'm receiving tricorder transmissions from the away team. They're picking up our warp core resonant frequency within the Aphelion.
They're bleeding us dry. But they're not just taking our power, they're routing it through the Cartabula.
I must be getting information from the bioforming, but this warning. It means that it's struggling with the power stacked up at close frequencies.
The Cartabula can't handle the dissonance?
Maybe.
Vermont to away team. Are you reading these Starfleet engine signatures?
We are. And you need to see this. The Steamrunner class frequencies are causing problems for the Aphelion's energy source. Sending visuals now.
They're vulnerable. We have to use this.
Captain, if they want to take all of our power, I suggest we give it to them.
How?
If we, and the other Starfleet ships, work together and send maximum warp output tuned to those same frequencies, it could overload their core.
There is merit to the theory. But if we attempt this, it would preclude any other course of action.
I wouldn't risk this ship without good reason.
Do it. We need to strike back. And we'll lead by example.
I will create a high-energy static warp shell.
We'll need the away team to guide us to the right frequency.
We read you, Resolute. You're putting a lot of faith in us, Captain. That's a hell of a plan. We don't want to let you down.
You just do your part over there. We'll do ours here. And we'll get through this together.
Yes, Captain.
I found an ejector team for the Cartabula.
So we can disengage it, just like we did with the Zeldy's warp cores.
Yeah, but it'll only activate if this thing gets completely overloaded.
So we gotta take it right up to the edge of destruction.
We are increasing the warp core resonant frequency now.
You can't do this. You'll destroy everything I've waited for.
If that thing wants to take over, it's going to have to go through the both of us. And I'm not going to let that happen. You hear me?
You can help me get the job done. That's the fight that matters most.
But it's not the only one.
Is something wrong?
No, we're fine.
Do you see our output frequency changing?
We do.
What is the impact on the Aphelion systems?
Keep it up, Resolute. It's starting to work. Alright, harder they'll fall.
Inertial dampeners are failing.
All warp power still being drained to the Aphelion, so that part of the plan is working. Now we need the others to join us.
Open a channel to anyone left on our side.
Opening a channel.
This is the Resolute. We're sending instructions to all ships to output maximum warp power at the designated frequency. We believe this will disable the Aphelion.
We don't know that. All we know is it'll siphon up our energy much quicker. You're leading us to disaster. Are you out of your mind? That has given them exactly what they want. You can't just expect us to turn belly up.
Our strength in Starfleet comes from our ability to work together, especially when everything is on the line.
I can get behind that, Captain Rydek. We're adjusting the Titan's warp output to match the Resolute's. I suggest the rest of you do the same.
The others are joining us.
This is the Takahashi. Adjusting our engines now.
The Cartabula, it's compensating, counteracting our interference. But some of these other frequencies are causing spikes too. I'm gonna find a new target range for the Resolute.
Updated telemetry coming from the away team. We have a new target range. Sending new parameters to engineering.
We are now running our core at 105% of recommended capacity. If we try to meet that frequency, we will generate a harmonic imbalance of our own and risk a warp core breach. I must warn you, these are precisely the engine conditions that Captain Solano's experiment brought about. A runaway reaction is a dangerous possibility right now.
We can eject the warp core if it comes to that.
Even emergency procedures have non-zero failure rates.
If it doesn't work, we're dead anyway. So give me what you've got.
Consequences be damned? Aye, aye, Captain.
We got an overload here.
It's at the breaking point.
What's happening? We got a problem. It's not gonna eject. We have to disengage the Cartabula manually.
Full power restored.
And the Aphelion is shutting down.
Returning warp reactor to nominal output levels.
The Takan are running off reserve power now.
I saw what you did. The sacrifice you made.
Radiation levels are spiking.
It's coming from the Cartabula. We must have damaged it. Didn't get it out before it fractured.
Our work here is done. Let's get out of here. 3 to beam back to the Resolute.
Our transporters won't cut through the interference. We can't lock on.
We can't stay here.
We're not getting away in that thing.
There. Maybe I can use this to get us out of here. I don't know if it can get us back to the Resolute, but we have to get away from here. Everybody on!
Radiation's lower here, but still too high for us to stay on the ship.
This is good, but we can do better.
And soon, I hope.
We gotta get all the way to the Resolute.
That thing is down, but not out. We'll handle the stolen Federation ships, but you need to get a crippling shot on the Aphelion.
A direct hit to its bridge will bring it down.
Take us real close, Captain. Skim the hull of that thing where it can't get a clear shot at us.
Or
I can weave us through the battle. And hope we don't get caught in the crossfire.
Can't take much more damage.
So you want us to go closer to that thing?
take us through the battle. Get us a clear shot on that bridge.
Aye, Captain. We're almost in position for a shot at the bridge.
Photon torpedoes armed and ready.
Break off this attack, or I will be forced to eradicate you.
The damaged Cartabula is continuing to release deadly amounts of radiation. Thankfully, it's still contained within the Aphelion.
But we have comrades on that ship, and we are going to die in here if we care. We will never submit to your Federation. We are taking our rightful place as rulers over this galaxy.
If you won't surrender, we'll be forced to destroy you.
We've crossed the eons to get here. We won't stop now. Fire salvo!
Now the radiation is rising here, too.
Targeting Resolute?
I can't let you do that.
Get on. Look out for each other.
The away team has beamed back.
We're in position and ready to fire, Captain.
Target their bridge.
Please, we target the ship. Pummel it to space dust, like we did to...
Fire.
Carter?
Millie.
I thought you'd want to know we made it. And that you'll always be my family. Even if I don't get to see you again. You'll never really be gone.
Just promise. You'll never forget me. How I was.
I promise.
All decks secure. We have the bioformed on board, fully contained.
The Starfleet ships under Takan control have signaled their surrender. Good work, Captain Rydek. Next time I need some backup, I'll know who to call. I trust you won't have a problem with that.
Thanks, Captain Riker. I owe you one.
Yes, you do. But who's keeping count?
Captain, we're being hailed. It's the Aphelion.
On screen.
The radiation. We won't last much longer in here. Please, we surrender. We need your help. Please beam us aboard your ship.
Captain, I must remind you that when an enemy is surrendered, it is our duty to render aid.
They're still dangerous, and there are other Takan. The bioformed on Hotari, on this very ship. We wouldn't be wiping them out if we didn't help the ones who tried to destroy us.
This is the Starfleet way.
This is the fate they've chosen. Leave them where they are.
You can't do that.
We don't have much time. We submit. I don't know what else I can say.
There has to be a price for all they've taken. Close channel.
Starfleet has granted me the privilege of conferring this upon you. Though I'm sure Captain Solano would rather have been the one offering this. You have acted dutifully and bravely through trying circumstances. I grant you the official rank of Captain. I believe a great many wonders lie ahead for you, Jara, Rydek. There appears to be nothing that can stand in your way.
Thank you, Ambassador Spock, for everything.
It is you who stopped the spread of the Takan. I should be the one giving thanks.
Victory. Peace. These things never come without a cost. For some, it requires putting aside centuries of enmity. A challenge we don't always meet. For others, they had to pay the ultimate price.
Carter Diaz had dreams of where Starfleet could take him. I think he ended up going further than he ever imagined.
In time, history may forget their sacrifices, but those of us who were there never will. Now, all hands honor the dead. Captain Solano used to say that nothing ever stays the same. Entropy. It's the nature of the universe. As such, the crew of a starship can never stay the same. But while entropy says that order inevitably gives way to chaos, this crew has only grown stronger. More cohesive and coherent. Bound by our shared struggles. And working together, helping each other, we're able to do more than we'd ever imagined.
There are some new faces on board. But in time, they'll come to share our bonds as well.
Do it.
Space, the final frontier. As we take our next steps into the unknown, the greatest insights that lie ahead are what we learn about each other. We might even surprise ourselves. And no matter what threats we may come upon, or mysteries we face, we will not be shaken. We are stronger together. We are steadfast in our purpose. We are Resolute.